Good morning. Hello. Happy Sunday. I'm so excited you're here. I'm so excited to do these lives and from our home studio. Oh my God. How many Sundays has it been? Holy moly. Today we're going to talk about the boomerang. The question was like, I don't know how to twist my arms behind my back like that. And I thought, oh, that's an interesting question. I think we have to discuss like what the boomerang is, what exercises are really leading us to the boomerang, and just kind of break down and dive into this. So whether or not you can do the boomerang exercise, it doesn't matter because actually you'll learn so much about the exercises that are involved. And so even if boomerang's not in your practice or never in your practice, working on those foundations as if it someday could be is really beneficial to your practice, to your body, to your life. So thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time joining us live on a Sunday, I hope this is your New Year's experience. I hope you join us every Sunday. It's super, super fun for me to do. I'm sure Brad loves getting up just to do this, just so you know. He definitely goes back to bed after we do these YouTube lives. But we love being here and having an opportunity to have a scheduled time to chat with you. We do this with our OPC members every single month. We actually film a live mat class together, and then we hang out for 45 minutes afterwards, chatting, answering questions, giving feedback on form, equipment setups, all of those things. It's super important to me that Pilates is accessible, and by accessibility doesn't just mean like you have the access to doing Pilates, but also that you can understand how the exercises could be accessible to you. And not every exercise is for everybody. So that brings us to the boomerang. It is an overhead exercise. You do have to be able to stand on your shoulders. It is, after doing a poll recently about fears people have of doing overhead exercises, there's an intense fear around being on the neck. And I think that we've gone a little far in protecting the neck so much that the neck is actually quite weak. And a lot of people who have too much mobility in their back can end up on their neck for sure. And then some people are so tight in their thoracic, they can't do it at all. So before we break down boomerang, I think we should be on the same page of what boomerang is. There's a couple variations out there. As a classical teacher, I've learned two. And I, since working with Jay Grimes, only teach the one that I'm going to show you today. And that's because boomerang is part of a series of rolling exercises. So what does that mean? So if you're using Joe's mat order, you start with 100, right? And you go through your 100, your roll up, your rollover, single leg circle, rolling like a ball. It's your first rolling one. You have your ab series, your spine stretch forward. Second rolling is open leg rocker. Then you have your corkscrew, your saw. Then you have your entire extension series, thigh stretch. Then we get into our neck pull, high suicide bicycle. Then we're going to get into our shoulder bridge and then into our jack, spine twist, jackknife side kicks. Then we have our teaser, right? Then we have our hip circles. Then we have swimming and leg pulls and kneeling side kick and side bend. And then we get to boomerang, which starts off the grand finale of rolling exercises, which ends up becoming seal and then crab and then rocking and control balance. So boomerang, I want you to look through it and let's talk about the different exercises I see in it. So first, our legs are crossed. Now you might be like, Lesley, when were our legs ever crossed like this in the order? Well, side bend, you actually are going to squeeze your legs together like this, okay? The toes need to be pointed. That's like your open leg rocker. A lot of people flex the bottom one to hook that top foot in. That is cheating, and it allows you to use your quad to hold your bottom leg to your top leg. No, we got to use our entire center to hold our legs together. Hands by your side, you round forward. Now, here's the problem. A lot of people just like fold over. You actually need to be in a round shape like the roll up. I should be that actively reaching through the crown of my head with my hands down here. So you might need to do a roll up to feel that reach and then place your hands down. Now, this is the hard part. Okay, I'm going to cheat a little bit because I'm talking through it. So the chest and the thighs, this space has to stay the same no matter where I'm in the boomerang. By the way, that's the same as you're rolling like a ball, your open leg rocker, it's the same thing. So even if you can't do boomerang yet, you should be practicing this, okay? So then a lot of people take their head back. Nope, look down. Use your legs to lift up and tip you over. The space stays the same when I'm overhead. I switch the cross of the legs the space stays the same. So I have to lift my head up a little sooner. And then right here, I reach my arms back and they pulse like 3 times as a counter stretch to my legs so I can control that descent. Okay, some of you have learned where you stop halfway, find a teaser, then bend the elbows, reach the hands, hook them behind you and go forward. Some people can do that in an impressive, beautiful way, and most people cannot do it. And the reality is a lot of people are hanging off of their shoulders and the hypermobility of their elbows or their wrists, and they're not activating their upper back, which is what we want. So let's do that again. So we're even. Round forward, space is the same. I'm going to tip back, space is the same. So I don't want my legs to fall on me. They have to be working away from me just as much as my chest is working away from them. Reach arms back and pulse 3 times. Hands come right back down. You don't even have to circle them around. They just come right back down. They're kind of just doing this action, okay? Now, all the different exercises. Well, we have our rolling like a ball. That helped us practice. We have our roll up and our open leg rocker. Yes? Okay, then this action right here, when you're coming down, this reach of the arms behind us, isn't that rowing 1 and 2? Isn't that our double leg kick if we are only doing the mat? Is it right? It's that. Oh my God, it's this reach behind. It's so important. It's also your control push-ups. Yes? Your leg pulls. Hello. So every exercise in our mat, and then if you were to able to add the reformer, is building up and leading to boomerang. We do boomerang at the end because we need all of that. I need the exercises like roll up and leg pull back and double leg kick to work my arms behind my back so I can stand on them, so I can reach behind myself. I need the rolling exercises like rolling like a ball, open leg rocker, teaser, hip circles to help me really understand my legs, my center, my longest round shape. I need the side bend exercise to strengthen my hips. I need the side leg kicks to strengthen my outer hips and my inner thighs. So all these exercises come together. And if you can think of it as, I'm so warmed up for this, rather than, oh my God, where did this come from? It becomes more possible, right? It becomes a little bit more possible. And so where I would, the exercise I've laid out for you so far, we haven't even talked about jackknife. Hi, Bayonne. Do you want to come in? Do you just not know that there's a camera on? The exercise we've talked about so far, if any of those are a struggle for you, well, that no wonder boomerang sucks. No wonder it's hard. No wonder you don't like it, right? Because we actually need to get those foundations, right? We need to get those in there. So how are we doing, Brad? Because someone wants some love, and I can do another boomerang if they want. But is there any questions, comments, wonders, worries? Where? Oh, yes, Jill's sweet new tower. Isn't it so fun? And yes, I am excited to be home for these. It's so much easier to like demonstrate and talk this out. So great. What's the question? Oh, the speed. Okay, so when you're learning the exercise, you're gonna have to break it down. But if you go slow, it creates tension. Tension is not the same as connection. Instead, creates um, it actually makes it harder than you think. And so the more dominant muscles take over, the muscles that are actually supporting the exercise turn off, and it becomes an almost impossible exercise. So you want to go with your breath. I think a lot of people tend to hold their breath, but you want to actually go with the breath. So if I'm doing it at real time, not talking through it, then this is my boomerang. Right? I'm literally doing one cycle of breathing, just the same as I'm inhaling back, exhaling up. It's the same. But remember, the rolling like a ball is like the third, fourth exercise you're doing the mat. So you're warming up. Boomerang, you're more warmed up. And so you should be able to do all that choreography from your center at the same pace you did to rolling like a ball at the beginning. But yeah, if you go slow, you will watch yourself. You'll hold your breath at the hardest part, and it makes it harder. It makes it harder. I like to inhale back because an inhale helps lift my lungs off my legs and pulls my center back, kind of knocks me over. And the exhale to come up helps me deepen and contract my muscles so I can stay more round over my legs, because otherwise we tend to kind of let the legs go and extend the back. So exhales are really easy for keeping and maintaining flexion. Yeah, I love that question. Who should be doing this? So first of all, you can just practice this first part. If you can't go overhead, maybe you just practice lifting the legs, switching the cross, lowering it down. Lifting the legs, switching the cross, like lifting the legs without leaning back, right? Maybe that's all you do, right? That could be you. Or you can even go lift, switch, reach, reach, reach. Set them down. Lift, switch, reach, reach, reach. No one said you had to do the whole thing to be good at Pilates. And so especially for my people where contraindications of neck issues or shoulder issues keep you from putting weight on your shoulders, do that. That's so fun. Then you don't have to do extra seals. But if you are on your neck and boomerang, you've gone too far. And that tells me you're not in control. And remember, this is called contrology. So when I'm upside down, right? When I'm upside down, there's space behind my neck. So my head's touching the mat, my shoulder, the weight is in my center and in my shoulders. There's a little bit on the back of my head, but not more than is necessary. And so my neck is totally fine. If you are going beyond that, right, then yeah, this exercise is going to be terrible for you, not safe, and you really shouldn't be doing it. So you want to make sure that, first of all, you have a strong overhead ability. If you have access to equipment, I want you breathing on the Cadillac, practicing how high can my hips come and I have weight on my shoulders without tipping too far, right? I want you doing rolling stomach massage, practicing getting the weight up onto your shoulder, having a spring support your legs a little bit. Then I want you practicing your airplane, right? All of that. Then we have short spine on the reformer. That's another challenge to the springs taking us over, but not too far. Grab your spine corrector. You can practice boomerang, especially those who have a lot more hip and leg abundance. You might put your hips on top of a spine corrector and practice going overhead with your hips halfway levitated, right? So give yourself permission to get into the exercise and get strong enough. Yeah. Bad ankles. I'm going to need more information why your ankles are affecting this exercise, because my ankles are just long. They're not like my legs are crossed. Your feet are pointed. You shouldn't be over pointing your ankles. So even if they have I've had people who have screws in their ankles, whatever your foot point is what you want. But most people over point their ankles. So if it's that you have like calf abundance and your legs are like this, they're separated, that's fine, because it's about squeezing my legs together, not squeezing my ankles together. An ankle fracture 16 years ago. But I guess what I don't understand, and I'm so sorry, is if it's a mobility issue, you just give yourself the point that you have. So like, I think there's too much. Some people are putting too much energy into the feet. The feet are pointed, but the energy is in the legs. So as long as you have inner thighs, outer hips, and hamstrings, you should have no problem. A lot of people are, because they were taught that the big toes have to match up. That's not accurate. That's a dancer thing, that I'm a human and your feet they're crossed, but my feet they're pointed. So let's talk about that. A lot of people overdo the ankle and they don't point the foot. She's saying she has hot arches. Yeah, so you point your foot. The ankle is long. I could do that with my foot. I can almost touch my toe to the floor, but that's a hyperextension of the ankle. That's actually going to take me out of the center, right? Like that's going to keep me from being connected to my center. That's too much tension in the foot. Remember, tension is not connection. I want a pointed foot, but my ankles are just long. They're not flexed unless they're fused that way. And I bet you there's some ability to point your foot, otherwise you'd have a hard time walking. So you got to point your foot. So lift your arches up. But you can do this without feet. That's the thing about boomerang that I love, is I worked with a client who had an amputation above the knee. Guess what? We still did the exercise because she had her center working for her. So they can't be floppy, but they should not be bearing too much tension. And I hope that's helpful for you, because I do think that sometimes we we have an ache or a pain, and then we put too much attention to that as part of it. You don't even need a foot for this exercise, but they can't have too much tension. They also can't be like loose. But I would just give yourself the point you can. But focus on your inner thighs. Work on your seal and your rolling cabal. How are your inner thighs working? Work on your outer hips and your side leg kicks. How are your outer hips getting stronger? Yeah. Practice doing. Oh, so because you need inner thigh strength, most people in rolling cabal let their knees splay too much. So you got to get those heels to squeeze together so your inner thighs are on. So my outer hips are on, like if I push my knees into my hands, but if I put my elbows here, my inner thighs are on. So this is my rolling like a ball. My inner thighs have to be working, right? Because eventually that's going to be the same strength I need here. Then seal, I have my arms here and I'm practicing opening, closing my legs, just like I will when I switch the cross, right? So it's the same muscles that do this are the same ones that go doot, doot, right? So I've got to work my outer hips and my inner thighs. And then I have to be able to do it while upside down. If you can't balance and do the 3 beats upside down, boomerang is not what you need to be practicing right now. You need practicing balancing on your shoulders, right? Then open leg rocker. Look at what open leg rocker has for us. We get to open and close the legs. This is your boomerang. And then can I be upside down without bending my elbows? Because the space between here and here has to stay. So I would really be looking, and if you're an OPC member, you can submit a video of you doing your rolling cabal, your open leg rocker, and your attempt at boomerang. And I'll give you personalized feedback on what's going on in your body and what you actually have to focus on, because then you're not guessing and then you're getting more out of it. Remember, Pilates is about doing the best you can, not doing as many as you can, right? So yeah, hopefully that was helpful. I love that question, and I'm sure other people are learning from it, because some people be like, oh, Lesley, I can't take my arms behind my back. Great, don't. It'll be harder to control the descent, but it's okay to even just go like this, like we have to, there's this interesting thing we do as humans. We look at someone doing something and we immediately put them on a pedestal that they must be doing it well. And then because we don't look like them, we think we can't do it. There's a version out there for us. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. So Christina asked, there's a variation of boomerang where this is the variation, Christina. So you're here, it's the same start. This is the same, but then they pause it. They find a teaser. They bend their elbows back. They interlace them and they go back. Okay. My thoughts on this are the same as my thoughts on double leg kick. Well, first let me just say, I learned that variation through a lineage of Ramana. And when I worked with Jay Grimes, who was with Joe as well, he was like, no, it's a rolling exercise. You don't stop the rolling. So I don't know why that variation exists. I'm sure the information is out there. It could be an archival version. Honestly, it might be. I don't think it was in Return to Life because I don't remember Karen making me do it recently. But that I could be wrong. I've been coming off of tour. I'll have to reread my notes. That being said, when I say with Jay, he's like, it's a rolling exercise. Don't pause the roll. Okay. So I removed that. But my thoughts on the hands interlacing to counter stretch. Most people do not actually reach from their back. So double leg kick, right? Your hands are layered. Most people do this. You can't tell? Well, so they're here layered and then they go, and they pinch their shoulder blades together, hyperextend their elbows, and overdo it in the wrists. There's no strength in my upper back. Yes, I feel a stretch here. I even feel a stretch across my biceps, but that's not the exercise. Remember, it has to be a balance of stretch and strength. So if you were to do the variation where the hands reach back as a counter stretch, I'd like it to look like double leg kick, which is where the hands reach away from the body and they don't do this. They go like that. That is actually keeping my shoulder blades wide and turning my back muscles on. All right. In rowing 1 and 2 on the reformer, a lot of people get really obsessed with getting their hands to be like this. And Jay was always like, they'll like, when their hands behind their back, they try to like interlace their hands. they try to interlace their hands behind their back like this. Or maybe they're just trying to hook their thumbs. And then what I see is they bend their elbows to do it, and then they hook their thumbs, and then they overstretch, right? So that's not the goal. The goal is it's for the back. It's for strengthening the back. And so what Jay would always have us do is if you can't interlace your hands behind your back without bending your arms, then you reach back as much as you could and you try to touch your thumbs with straight arms, right? You try to touch your thumbs. How much can I touch my thumbs? Oh, right. And that work actually strengthens the back. So for me, if you're going to interlace as a counter stretch, that's a personal choice. I don't really care. There's no Pilates police in my life. But is it still Pilates? Like, are you still having equal balance of strength and stretch? Or are you hanging off of flexibility? And if you are, yes, it will look pretty, but it's not strong, right? And so I like to lean into this one, which is where I just take my hands back and I'm trying to do what I just did with the rowing. I'm trying to hug my arms towards each other and lift them up and up and up. And then I have to bring them back down. It helps. This right here helps pick my low ribs in the front off my legs. It's tendon stretch on the reformer, right? If you keep going. So it's a system. It's a system. And whenever you have a question about how something is, I would look to see if there's any other exercise in Joe's work that does the exact same way, because they should be double up. Yeah. Yeah, it's out. It's out and out and out. Not down and out. No, go out. Go for boomerang. It's here and I'm reaching out, like out, behind me out, not to the sides out, back. It's to get all of this. It will benefit your rowing, your tendon stretch on the reformer a lot. I mean, I could keep going. There's a lot of things that'll benefit, but yeah, it should help you stay in flexion. It should not pull you out of it. And this is going to pull you out. This is going to pull my chest into extension. It's got to stay. It's a flexion exercise. It's a rolling flexion exercise. Yeah. Cool. Super fun. Again, OPC members get my personal feedback on their form on any exercise, whether we have classes of it or not. And you can join OPC at onlinepilatesclasses.com/YouTube. We have a really cool, exciting lineup of classes and workouts for you. We have a great community. I'm so proud of what we're doing. And it's a lot of fun. So, early bird for Cambodia is happening right now. Spots are already filling up. The early bird will end in about, I think, a week. It ends on Friday. That is the 23rd. So it ends on Friday the 23rd. So if you want to come to Cambodia with me, do mat work, do some breath work, do some workshops. Of course, we have tickets for friends who don't want to do the Pilates and workshops. And we modify the mat workout for you. Then make sure that you will go to, where should they go, babe? crowsnestretreats.com to snag your spot. Again, we do have a limit of how many people we could take, and the early bird ends on Friday. Wonderful. I think that's all. Oh, you know what else is happening while you're still here? My mentorship program for 2027 applications have opened up, and we've already accepted almost a half of people for that mentorship program. So if you are wanting to mentor with me in 2027 and nerd out about this stuff forever, to be honest, because once you've gone through my mentorship program, there's an alumni group, then you'll want to go to lesleylogan.co/elevate. And definitely take a look and snag your spot, because once it's full, and we have to look at 2028. Which is really far away in my mind. So anyways, thank you all so much. Happy Sunday. I'll see you later.